Os. Welcome back to a new episode of Yoga for BJJ. I'm here at the Mallorca BJJ and Yoga Festival. So this is a pretty amazing event, amazing facility and a really nice location. And I thought I'd take this chance to film a little bit of content for you guys. And the theme of this event, as I said, is Jiu Jitsu, and what's better than doing a yoga for Jiu Jitsu flow. So you don't need any equipment for this, and come onto your mat and let's practice. Let's go. So come to the back of your mat into a kneeling position, also known as hero's pose. So your feet are untucked, your spine is upright, and your shoulders and face muscles are relaxed. Before we start, we want to warm up our feet. So for that, we lean back a little bit and then lift up our knees and then lower them down. Lift up, go slow. You can keep your hands on the floors for now and then lower down. And 3 more times. Lift back up and lower. 2 more. And 1 more last time. Lift up and maybe stay here. Keep your hands on the floor. If you want to, you can bring your hands in front of the heart. So really important stuff to do when you do Jiu-Jitsu. So as you can imagine, if you get pushed over and roll over your ankles, that's not a good thing. So to prevent injuries, we do stuff like that. We stay here for 2 more breaths. This may be really intense for you, but it's a necessary movement in my opinion. And then release and come into a tabletop position. Bring the shoulders over your hands, over your wrists, and tuck your feet. And we want to stretch our toes by leaning backward. And then move forward. Bring your shoulders in front of your hands to work on the wrists a little bit. And then go back. Go at your own pace, back and forward. This is some simple mobility exercises for the hands and feet. And really important here is to spread the fingers. Keep the core engaged and keep the shoulders away from the ears. And focus on your breathing. Do this 1 more time. And when you're back, we release the hands and then turn the fingers towards the knees. Spread the fingers and then lean backward. And here you can bend one arm and then the other. Go slow. And then release. And we want to bring the back of the hands to the floor, spread the fingers again. Let the biceps face to the front of the mat. And lean back here. So this is pretty amazing for the wrists. And especially if you get caught in a wrist lock or something like that, you will stay safe if you do this more regularly. Because your wrists are used to this movement. And sorry, there's a lot of flies right here right now, I don't know. And then release. And from here come into a downward facing dog. So if you practice with me more often, you already know that this is a base for a lot of my flows, the downward facing dog. And a lot of movements will start from here. And now just lower one heel down at a time to the floor. And walk the dog. Spread the fingers, push away from the ground. And then let the movements get slower. And from here, step your left foot outside your left hand and move around. So you can shift your weight back and forward or bounce your hips up and down. Just do the movement that feels good in your hips. Keep the fingers spread and really stretch out your toes, especially in the back leg, the back foot. And if you want to go deeper by bringing your left elbow, your forearm to the ground, and then your right forearm to the ground, and move here. This is just an option, so you don't have to do this. But I want to give you some variations of these poses. And then lower down your knee. And maybe walk your hands a little bit more forward. Try to shift the hips forward and down. And really relax the muscles in the hip area. Relax the muscles in the shoulder, in the face. And let your breath guide you through this practice. Stay here for 2 more breaths in your own variation. And then come back into a lizard lunge. And from lizard lunge, bring your right knee to the outside of your left heel. So just do this movement. Set your right hip down, set your left hip down, and then bring both knees on top of each other. I hope you can see this well from this angle. Let your chest face to the front. Keep your chest upright. And then lean forward. Also try to keep both butt cheeks on the floor. So if your left butt cheek is lifting up, just try to gently move it down. And you don't want to feel any pain in your knees or any other joint, so please back off or bend your knees either further or extend your legs a little bit more to keep the knee joints safe. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And with the next inhale, slowly lift up. Bring your left hand behind you and your right hand comes onto the right knee and twist your chest to the left side of the room. Really twist from your spine, breathe deep into your stomach. With each inhale, grow taller in your spine, and with each exhale, twist more to the left. 2 more breaths here. And with the next inhale, come back to the middle. Bring your left foot to the top left corner of the mat. Bring both hands inside of the left foot and step your right foot to the back of the mat for lizard lunge. And from here we want to come into a Skandasana to the back of the mat. So shift backwards, bend your right knee and straighten your left leg. So, and from here you want to bring your right palm to the floor. With your next inhale, reach your left hand up and open up your chest. Stay breathing here, keep breathing here. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the fingertips active in both hands. One more breath. And exhale, lower your left hand down and then do some circles with your left foot. And switch directions. From here, look to the front of the mat, come back into a lizard lunge. And from lizard lunge, come back into a downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, maybe straighten your legs a little bit more than before, but you don't have to. Focus on your straight back. And now step your right foot outside your right hand. Lizard lunge and move. And if you want to go deeper, lower down your right forearm and then your left forearm. Again, this is just an option. Death is not the goal, it's the feeling in your body. And listening to your body. And then you can set down your left knee. Walk your hands a little bit more forward and send your hips forward and down. Relax all the muscles in your body. If your inside of the right foot lifts up, this is okay, as long as the right foot is pointing in the same direction as the right knee. And then come back into a lizard lunge. Look forward. And from here we want to come into a Skandasana. Oh, sorry. No, not. No. And from here, look towards the right foot and bring your left knee outside of your right heel. Buenos dias. And from here, bring both knees on top of each other. Keep your spine upright. And then fold forward. Stay with your breath. With the next inhale, lift up. Bring your right foot to the top right corner of the mat. Bring both hands inside of the right foot. Step back into a lizard lunge. Look forward. And then shift backwards into a Skandasana on this side. Ground your left hand. And with the next inhale, reach your right hand up. Open up the chest, look up towards the sky if possible. And maybe your left heel is lifted, that's fine. And exhale, lower down, and do some twists with your right ankle. Switch directions. And then look to the front of the mat, come back into a lizard lunge, and from lizard lunge, step back into a downward facing dog. Last downward facing dog of this practice. And from here, lower down your chest, come onto your belly, untuck the toes, come into a Sphinx pose. By this Sphinx pose, your elbows are underneath the shoulders, the palms are on the floor, and you want to press the tops of your feet into the mat. If you want to go deeper, for seal pose, straighten both arms. But make sure you don't feel any pain in your spine. Keep the shoulders relaxed and let your biceps turn to the front of the mat. Or up in this position. 2 more breaths here. And slowly release with the exhale. Shake out your hips. And then bring your right arm into a cactus arm position, 90 degrees in the elbow, 90 degrees in the shoulder joint. And then bring your left hand underneath your left shoulder and step your left foot over the right leg. So be careful with that. It's a nice shoulder stretch, but a really intense one. So maybe you have to put your foot in front of the right leg, that's okay as well. You can lower down your head, rest your head on the floor. And then slowly release and switch sides, 90 position in the left arm, right hand underneath the right shoulder, and step your right foot over the left leg. Or maybe in front, whatever you prefer. I think I take this variation for today. Keep breathing. One more inhale here. And with the next exhale, release. Shake your arms, shake out your arms, your hips. And then come back into a kneeling seated position, hero's pose or cross-legged seated position. And just feel for a moment into your body. Observe your thoughts and what's happening in your mind. I want to invite you to do a meditation or a breathwork exercise. I have a lot of videos for that on my channel as well, so check those out. And as always, thank yourself for showing up, practicing with me, and I want to thank you as well. And I hope to see you next time. Namaste.